I'm Cooper Vandriessche, Chief Political Analyst for Sbs-Tv. Today, it was the first day since protests broke out in Washington, D.C. Plus, Democrats now have control of the Senate as they won the key battleground Senate seats in the Georgia runoff election on Tuesday. All that and more coming up on this Sbs-Tv Election Update.
From the Sbs-Tv studios at Riley High School, Michiana's award-winning student news team, this is Election 2020.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today on this Thursday, January 7th, 2021. With only being 1 week in 2021, the effects of the November 2020 election are still being felt. Let's take a look at what has gone down this week. We welcomed new members into Congress this past Sunday as they were sworn on the Capitol on January 3rd, amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Although many members were sworn in on Sunday, we are still waiting the results for the congressional seat in New York's 22nd Congressional District, as the results are still too close to call. As the week moved on, reports surfaced of a phone call between President Trump and Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Later on Monday, a phone call between the two men was leaked in which you can clearly hear President Trump asking Raffensperger to overturn the election in Georgia. This phone call between the two men created much controversy in both Washington, D.C. and in the state of Georgia, especially with Georgia as scheduled for the next day were the state's Senate runoffs.
President Donald Trump, in the waning days of his term, continuing to deny he lost Georgia in the 2020 election.
I think it's pretty clear that we won. We won very substantially, Georgia.
On Saturday, in an hour-long taped phone call obtained by CNN and first reported by the Washington Post, the president pushes Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to overturn the repeatedly confirmed result.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
Raffensperger, a Republican, stands firm.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
Trump's call came days after Congress meets to certify President-elect Joe Biden's victory and high-stakes Senate runoff elections. Trump is set to hold a rally in Dalton, Georgia for Republican Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. President-elect Joe Biden is campaigning in Atlanta for Democratic candidates Jon Ossoff and the Reverend Raphael Warnock. If Ossoff and Warnock both win, the Senate would be split down the middle, with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris holding the tie-breaking vote. Georgia officials say more than 3 million ballots have already been cast.
On Tuesday, January 5th, the Senate runoff election was underway to find the winners of the 2 Senate seats in Georgia. Now, usually in a general election, only 1 Senate seat is up for grabs, but due to former Georgia Senator Johnny Isakson resigning due to health reasons, a runoff election needed to be held. For the first Georgia Senate seat, the runoff seat, incumbent Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler faced Democratic challenger Raphael Warnock. In the end, Warnock came out victorious with 50.8% of the vote compared to Loeffler's 49.2%. For the second Georgia Senate seat, incumbent Republican David Perdue was seeking a second term, while he was faced by Democratic challenger Jon Ossoff. The winner of that seat was Ossoff with 50.4% of the vote, compared to Perdue's 49.6%. This now puts the Democrats and the Republicans with an equal number of senators, but ultimately gives the Democrats the overall advantage, due to Kamala Harris being the president of the Senate and will break any tie votes. We'd like to close out this election update with the biggest story from this past week. Yesterday, Wednesday, January 6th, many Republican voters went to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. to protest the election results. After what started as a peaceful protest, it soon became violent as protesters made their way inside the Capitol to stop the confirmation of Joe Biden as the 46th President of the United States. The Capitol Police were overthrown by protesters, and the Capitol was put on lockdown. Many lawmakers called for police to be sent to the Capitol to stop the violence, which is surprising to many as the same lawmakers spent most of the summer on defunding the police movements. This act of violence led to an outcry from both sides of the aisle saying this will not be tolerated. In the end, Mike Pence did his civic duty and confirmed Joe Biden as the next President of the United States.
For even in the wake of unprecedented violence and vandalism at this Capitol, the elected representatives of the people of the United States have assembled again.
Donald Trump has also officially started the transition process. Yesterday during the protest, 4 people died. With that, we have reached the end of this political update. As always, remember to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon to be notified every time there's a new post on SBS TV. Until then, thank you, and good luck, America.